bothered about, if not concerned with, and that borders on this bread and butter issue. What are your plans, or what is your approach to solving the escalation of prices, especially the price hike in basic commodities?
Well, you know something? The number one reason for the high prices is the deterioration of the external value of the loan. I told you, we've lost 50% of our purchasing power. That means by mismanaging the currency loan, we've increased prices by 50%. Added to that, GST. Added to that, maybe global situation, but global situation about 5 or 6%. It's not 50%. A government of Sierra Leone should learn to manage the national currency properly so it retains its value. How come the dollar retains its value? Why can't we? If we overspend or we use the police for politics, the message will go forth overseas to say this has instability in the future of that land. Don't put your money there. Huh?
Let's benefit from your ideas. What you will do, the institutions you will set up, the avenues you will create to solve this.
There will be no reckless government spending. If I'm going to New York to give a speech in the United Nations, I'm going to take 25 people there and put them all on per diem. I will take a few people that are virtually necessary. I will take high quality personnel that will go over there and able to talk with businessmen to bring investment to the country. I will go to those companies that were once in Sierra Leone, find out what went wrong with them, get their position, and assist our friends to come in and make a settlement with them so they can come back over here. I will ask our friends in the world to say, look, our country has been damaged by war. The war was instigated from overseas. There are rich nations behind the damage in Sierra Leone. I will ask for war compensation for the damage done to Sierra Leone. I launched in a town called Bompe in Bo South district the other day, and in events you can see 12 houses and shops damaged by the war. The owners could not rebuild them. Somebody caused those damage. Under international law, they are required to pay compensation for that. A government in Sierra Leone is responsible to go after those guys. But I don't know why our government is not doing it. I once negotiated an agreement with lawyers in America, with the American government blessing, with the Sierra Leone government blessing, to go after those sellers.
Somebody listening might just say, you have a vast experience in governance, in moving the country forward. Would you serve President Nkrumah if you are called upon?
But I what?
Will you serve President Nkrumah in any capacity if you are called upon to use this knowledge that you have, this experience that you have to bear on the development of Sierra Leone?
I believe in a two-party system. My party is SNPP. I want to share my knowledge with SNPP. Let Mr. Ernest Nkrumah go and develop his own APC personnel.
Would you deprive the country of your knowledge if the SNPP is not in governance?
The SNPP will be in governance. We are going to win in 2012 with me on top of that.
What are the greatest excesses or failings of President Nkrumah? You've named a few.
Well, I think Mr. Nkrumah is trying very hard to do a good job, but he doesn't have good people. He's not been able to recruit quality people. His people have disappointed him. The management of the currency is one of the biggest problems. Also, Mr. Nkrumah went in and filled his cabinet with people from his area. Look, I just came from Konkuna in Gambia district. The paramount chief there is a Tonko Limba, not born in the chiefdom. They are putting him over a Soso, the Soso tribe in Brahma chiefdom. It's not correct. A Tonko Limba on top of Soso people in Gambia district. It's a chiefdom. They have qualified people. Now, the cabinet is full of northerners. Mr. Nkrumah could have found other people in other parts of the country to make a national cabinet.
Proving just two ways that you're more intelligent than the president.
I don't know. I don't want to get personal. I think President Nkrumah is fine, but I'm different. Our experiences are different. Our attitudes are different. I grew up when this was a nice country and people like David Nicol reigned, not Bailo Barry. Okay? I was in that country, so I know what are views are different.
What are your policy prescriptions to good governance, accountability to the people of Sierra Leone, and minimizing corruption in public offices?
Good governance is the key to the future of Sierra Leone. All this suffering we're suffering today is because of poor governance, bad governance, favoritism, nepotism, failing to pay workers on time. Look at school teachers. Nurses are not paid on time. Not paid for 4 or 5 years. You should control the pharmaceutical industry. The country is racked with counterfeit drugs. Good governance should stop that. The police should be used as an impartial professional force to maintain law and order, not as a political tool to harass the opposition. They should not be arresting security guards and freeing the Lerabouts of Sierra Leone. They should not be doing that. Okay? That sends a message across to the world saying that we're not ready for business. Good governance is what is going to make Sierra Leone different. Good governance means managing the currency properly so that it retains its value. Good governance is what is going to deliver us from all this hardship. We must equip our schools, invest in human beings so that the human quality improves. Make the schools productive, interconnect Sierra Leone with the rest of the world. To get internet connection in Sierra Leone is too high. The cost of doing business in Sierra Leone is too high. That airport in Lunge there is underutilized. There are 2 or 3 planes a day. When we begin to get 100 planes a day, that's good governance.
You just mentioned schools, Mr. Lee, and the greatest resources and the future of Sierra Leone is the children. What plans do you have to ensure that these children are given the chance to utilize their God-given potentials?
I will continue President Kaba's policy of free education at the elementary level. And all these fees they pile upon students that is really inconveniencing parents, I will eliminate. When I say free education, no fees. All fees should go directly, all application for fees should only be approved locally, should go through to the Ministry of Education. I will make sure I pay teachers properly and motivate them. I will improve teacher training qualifications, facilities, so that we get motivated teachers. If you don't pay teachers or you pay them small wages, they're not going to be motivated. You have to divert revenues from wasteful spending into productive spending. That's what I do. I will redeploy money and put it where it matters. Schools, hospitals, okay, and the improvement of human quality. That's what I'll do. Colleges.
Now, if you're unsuccessful in all of these, who would you want from amongst the others to lead the SLPP?
I don't want any of them to get it. I want to get it. I want all of them to lose. I want them to lose. I want to be the only one winning it. That's what I want.
In the event things prove otherwise, Mr. Lee, you know, in the event things prove otherwise, you know, and then you are not fortunate to make it, you know, who appeals to you most from amongst the others?
Let me tell you something, Mr. Kapoor. I'm going to get it. The people of Sierra Leone are looking for a savior like John Lee. He showed he can get the job done. Again and again, he can do the job done. SLPP are looking for a loyal SLPPer who is with them in good as well as in bad time. Doesn't run away. He stands and takes fire and goes forward. That's me. They are looking for exactly like me who will bring the nation together. An end to this tribalism. They may make sure that the one people, one concept of colony and protected into one nation is really reaffirmed, and we are all together in this.
You have just developed another word, SLPPer. The only SLPPer.
I am.
Now, when you move across the country and talk to delegates, Mr. Lee, you know, what are some of the crucial issues, you know, that they tell you? And what have been your response to some of these, you know, especially those in the regions? Mr.
Kapoor, the number one problem in this country is the economic hardship. I address the issues, analyze how we got to this stage. I explain how the government depends on donor money. I explained to them, you know, when I was in Washington, I was looking for economic aid for Sierra Leone. I'd got humanitarian aid. Now I've got humanitarian aid, I've got defense aid. I wanted economic development aid. I sat down with American officials. I sat down with members of Congress. They tell me, say, Ambassador, your country is very rich. God gave you everything, all kinds of minerals. In front of this city, Freetown, from Mambolo to Sulima, is the continental shelf, the East Atlantic continental shelf, and the richest fisheries in this coast, in the East Atlantic. What do we get for fish? Few billion leons, not worth more than $3 to $5 million. But every single day, they are scooping hundreds of millions of dollars of fish from our waters. We have 200 miles of that. This continental shelf goes in 300 miles. We have 200 miles of that. Go and see the numbers of trawlers out there scooping the ocean floor and shipping fish out we don't know anything about. There is a colonial law in the books of Sierra Leone requiring those trawlers to deposit a percentage of the catch in Freetown. We should get those trawlers to build the facilities to accommodate that catch so we can get a big fishing industry and get more revenues. And we should make sure we license the whole thing. Right now in Sierra Leone, only the insiders in government and the politicians are benefiting from natural resources. You let me president of Sierra Leone, I will harness the revenues from our natural resources, manage the thing carefully so that we invest in human beings, in our schools, in our colleges, in our hospitals, and in society, in providing infrastructure to make this thing, this country, a prosperous society.
Are you back in Sierra Leone for good, or are you likely to return to the US or some other area if you lose the election?
No, I'm in Sierra Leone for good, but I'll go where the money is. If I don't have a chance to make policy for Sierra Leone, I'll have to find employment. I don't know where I'll go. If I can find it in Sierra Leone, I'll invest in. First of all, I'm going to invest in Sierra Leone after the elections are over. Win or lose, I'm going to do that. But I'm going to do that. If I have a job, the business is successful, I'll stay. If it's not, I'll have to look for greener pastures. We have to make Sierra Leone a place favorable to investors.
You just mentioned you have 3 degrees. You have just mentioned about your level of support to this country generally. You have just mentioned your level of support to your party, the Sierra Leone People's Party. With this vast knowledge, with this high knowledge, academically, your educational background, Mr. Lee, what is it that you don't know, and how are you learning it?
What I don't know? Look, it's never too old to get a good education. So every single day, I'm learning. You know what I like? I like people to criticize me. When they criticize me, I learn. I learn from you. I don't get annoyed. If you criticize me, I learn from you. I gain knowledge that way. I'm very active, okay? But I don't know everything.
All right, let me give you 30 seconds to address the country again, particularly the delegates who are listening on radio, those in the regions, those here in Freetown watching you on television. 30 seconds, your final message to them.
My message to delegates is, look, let's be serious about our country. Let's be serious about our party. Let's forget about Komanes, the mayors, Paddy, those kinds of things. Put aside sentiments and pick the right person for Sierra Leone, the right person for SNPP, and let's develop this country. If they give you money, take the money, eat it. The country is too hard, but vote your conscience. Do not allow people to bribe you or tie your hands. Go into that convention with a clean heart, a clean mind to pick the best person to move you forward. Whatever money they give you is going to last in no time. It will not last that long. But I ask you, give credit where credit is due. Forget